this next ingredient that I want to give you is the reason why you are still here. This is the reason why you have made it this far. This is the reason and the thing that has been pulling you through your journey this whole way. This next ingredient is called, you must have faith. You see, I'm not here to preach religion, spirituality. I'm not a pastor by any means, but I am a firm believer that there's a higher power that controls all of this for me. I can't do what I do without the touch of God. Without God working in my life, in my marriage, there's nothing that I'm capable of without it. And I know this. And I'm a believer that faith is what has brought me when I couldn't carry myself. Faith picked me up when I had nothing left to give. Faith showed up when I was done. And I said, this is it. Faith is what kicked in and brought me along. You see, a few years back, my wife and I had our first child. We had a daughter named Layla. And Layla was about 4 months old. And I was getting ready to go to a meeting with some sponsors for this event that I was working. I was working on my first speaking tour. We were going to do 20 stops around Michigan at different high schools and different venues. Just encouragement and hope and motivation, overcoming adversity. And I remember that morning, February 10th to be exact, I got up that morning and I started to get Layla ready because I was going to drop her off at my aunt's house and they were going to keep her until I come back. I asked my wife if she could stay home a little longer and she says, no, I really got to get to work. I said, okay, no big deal. I'll drop Layla off and I'll pick her up on my way home. I say maybe 5 minutes later, my wife comes back around and she says, I just called in. I told her I'll be a little bit late. I'll just keep her until you get back. And I said, okay, no problem. That works. Saves me a little bit of a trip and I can get to my meeting on time. I left my house that morning at 9:30 a.m. I'm driving down the street. Nothing's going on. I'm just going over my notes in my head. And I remember I'm cruising. I have no cares in the world. I'm riding. Jay-Z's bumping in the background. I'm in a good place. And I remember crossing over one of the major intersections. And as I crossed over, and I'm just going, I see the flash of burgundy out the right side of my eye. I feel this hit. The car veered left. And all I see is this big mound of snow in the middle median. My first thought was, I know there's oncoming traffic on the other side of that. And I know if I go through that and I hit something, I just kicked in death's door. I fly left. I just missed the car coming behind me. I went airborne through this mound of snow, landed in the street facing the wrong direction. And I was in so much pain. I opened my eyes. I see cars coming directly at me. This is an icy winter day. There's no way they're going to be able to stop. I closed my eyes and I said, God, please don't take me now. My family needs me. I closed my eyes, I took a deep breath, and I just waited. After a few seconds passed by, I opened my eyes again to see that the cars had begun to slow down right at the front of the hood of my smoking car. I could barely make out the vehicle in front of me as the smoke billowed from the hood. A gentleman jumps out of a truck. He pulls the door open, and he says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I think so." And I got out the car and I stood up and I collapsed in the street. He helped drag me to the sidewalk where I lay until the ambulance showed up. The ambulance got there. They put me in. They take me away. He's checking vitals. He's working on me. And I said, "Man, please don't let me die." He said, "I think you're going to be okay. Do you have any kids?" And I burst into tears. And I said, yeah, I've got a daughter. And he said, thankfully she wasn't with you today. They told me my daughter wouldn't have made it. The impact was too much. She would have died instantly in the accident. Over the next few years, I find myself with a herniated disc in my back, a rotative cuff issue, a neck issue, and a dislocated hip. I can't stand in front of an audience. I can barely sit in front of an audience. I spent my daughter's first birthday watching because I couldn't move. There was many days that I sat there at home with just her and I while my wife worked 50 hours a week to keep us afloat. And I sat there and I watched her cry because I couldn't get up to pick her up. What I learned in this time, I once heard T.D. Jakes say, if you have a problem that man or money can fix, you don't have a problem. If you've got a problem that man or money can fix, you don't have a problem. I found myself in a position where neither man nor money could help me. All I had left was my faith. And for the next 2 years, I went through therapy, recovering from my injuries. And then I found myself sleeping on another couch in front of another TV, not knowing how I was going to make it. And it was through the power of God that I can stand here today and share this testimony and share this story of how I was able to come back. After 2 years of therapy, I got the clearance from my doctor that things were going to be okay. The injuries are improving, things are getting better, you're going to be able to get back to life and so on. And I thank God every day that I was able to do that and still get back to doing the thing that I love, which is serving people. I say that to say this. There's going to come a point in your journey where all the motivation in the world cannot help you. You're going to find yourself in a position where neither man nor money can help get you out of the situation and the hole that you've fallen into. And you will be forced to rely on something much greater than yourself. So it's important that on this journey for a better life, on this journey for success, or whatever the goal is, it's important that you must have faith.